Heather? I mean, is that always full?
Yeah, I mean, it's.
I mean, is there a waiting list up there?
They raise their rates
So
quite a bit.
what's the difference that they're doing versus what these
I
are
mean, that'd
doing,
be
you
the
know?
question, I guess.
Isaacs got a great one too.
Do they have one down here?
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't aware of
They
that.
built a new one.
I think the bigger
Five,
kids are
600
like less because the cost went up and you're like, oh, I can just have grandma watch them or,
Right.
you know, like, but the younger,
Well,
their babies.
A lot of it anymore is, you know, the spouse, you know, does it pencil for me to even go to work?
Yeah,
You know, that's where a lot of them, I
Yeah.
think, is just home daycare's picked up. It's like, well, I'll pick up
yeah,
2 or 3 extra kids with my 3 and
for sure.
make a few
Some of
bucks,
it-
and then I don't, you know, you're actually money ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you might have 2 kids and
Because
it's
if you're going to work,
500 or 600 a week, that's hard to make.
you know, you're going to
money,
work for $500-600 a week and your daycare bill's $500 a week, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's not
that's kind of a no-brainer.
Mhm.
I mean, I kind of see how the trend's working. But it'd be interesting to see what the difference is,
Yeah, I think
why
it's
the other ones have a waiting list and this one doesn't?
Yeah, I wrote them down.
It's on here somewhere.
It's on the
Yeah,
very bottom.
the rate is on here.
Okay,
And just some of the backstory, daycare is usually, there aren't a whole lot of people going, let's go into daycare so that we can make a lot of money. They're loser. I mean, they're just losers.
It's more of a convenience for them.
It's a service that's usually provided, and a lot of times it's done through schools in smaller towns. If you look at the demographic between Prayer and Toledo, you're going to see a discrepancy in how many kids are on free and reduced lunches and those kind of things. Poverty is a lot more prevalent in the southern half of the county. Therefore, there's going to be a lot more people who are going to be on child care assistance through the state. Those only pay to a certain amount, like they'll only pay, you can raise your rates as much as you want, but you can only get kids in there that are going to be being paid for at a top rate, whatever that match is. And so to compare it between the Traer private model and this, which was set up kind of to be a public model. This is set up probably in the 70s to be subsidized by the government in some degree, or to some degree. It's been transitioned out of that to be more of a private run thing. However, I think that it would behoove the employees who have employers from big, you know, bigger companies to step in. You know, they would have the resources to say, you know, we need our employees. And so if we can't, if I have 50 people leave my, you know, the employment line right now, or not the employment line, but the workforce. If I have 50 or 55, and maybe if you even cut that in half and say it's 25, because there's an average of 2 children per house or whatever, that's gonna be a significant amount of impact on the productivity of my business. Therefore, I have some interest in paying some, you know, put some of my capital towards that. I had encouraged them to invite some of the bigger businesses there to say.
I can
you know,
reset
we have
it,
a
but
crisis. We're not gonna be able to come to work tomorrow because we don't have anybody wants your kids.
Give me the
That's
FEIN.
a problem. And so, it is a problem. I don't know that what the big solution is, but just listening, you know, kind of to summarize, it's probably not fair to compare it to a Traer. It might be a good, you know, a good answer. If you can find ways to transport kids to Traer, but they have a waiting list up there. But that is, I mean, the demographic is just much different down here than it is up here. People have a lot more. There's a lot more prosperity in Traer than there would be in the David Dillon. So it's probably how it kind of got that way. If the state caps it, we're only gonna pay $20 a kid, and that's just the number two, like what you made up in we need, you know, 35 to, the state doesn't allow the parent to make the difference between what the state pays. It's illegal for the daycare to charge more than what the state will pay. They say you have to accept this. And so they've kind of hamstrung themselves by agreeing to the state payment. That's what it is. Just wanted an update, see.
Is that something like out here that maybe they not take those kids because they don't make that money that they want? Is that a?
I think it's in their number.
I don't know that. I mean, I'm just wondering, are they even, you know, are they even taking them means they're not getting the full amount? I mean, some better than none, I guess, is the way I'm looking at it.
That's probably, as it was kind of set up more as a missional or as a service, a government service. If we put in money back in the 70s, that the idea behind the whole project would be that they would be able to come to the government for help if they got behind again. It's been taken on by the city, sounds like more of the cities, but I'd be interested to find out, like, if they broke out those numbers, how many of them actually live in the county? Because if there's 13 and 12, you know, whatever it is, however many lived in the county, that would be probably the portion that we would be interested in if there was any. any opportunity to help. Not the entire gamut. But if Toledo and Tama are both sitting there not doing anything, and it would probably entertain, entertain taking on everybody's burden, but maybe the counties, right? That would be more.
Yeah, the advertising would probably, or slash sponsorship or whatever, if Corteva put a sign in there in the front of it, something like you said, the bigger businesses step up.
Yep.
I would think that they would have if they have a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
It might be worth it for them to say, hey, we're gonna give you a grant to kind of try to move things along. Because it costs money to advertise too.
Right.
So you take that money and you advertise, or you take that and invest it in the staff that's already, it's really they're in a tough spot. I wouldn't want to be in that spot.
We kind of were last year.
But we didn't want it. Alright, discussion approved claim.
We have claims in the amount of $171,919.04. So that's 171,919.04. I'm gonna make a motion that we approve them, but I want to point out that there's a big chunk of rock, and when I talked with Taylor, we are not paying anybody to haul the rock. No, we're gonna get
Do it
our.
all in-house.
That, I'm glad that they paid attention to what we asked. But I also asked where the dump trailers for the center dumps, and they didn't buy it in.
Nope,
Yeah, so.
didn't get any of them yet.
We had too many trucks just sitting.
The
Exactly.
idea is to run everything we got and see what we can do.
I think it's great. So I make that motion. We pay the.
I second it.
Okay, been moved and seconded to pay the claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. New business. Discussion of possible action on supervisory reports. Anybody got anything from your?
I kind of gave you what I've had so far. so.
Yeah, that's a lot. They're a bit busy.
I've got an update. No one else has.
Tell us about the phone, will you?
I will talk about the phones.
Is it good? I thought we were done with the phone.
I did too. So long story short,
No.
we've run into some issues with Windstream. And I've sent strongly worded emails. I finally got a phone call, 2 weeks into it. And in that 30-minute phone call, we solved the problem. It's frustrating that you can't get a live person to talk to you. And I expressed that, and I've got the lady's phone number taped here because I'm gonna talk to her after we're done, because I'm beyond frustrated.
Looks like you got a couple numbers there. You're gonna get hold of her.
Well, I couldn't talk to her on Friday because she had to go to a funeral. But I did talk to them, and I'll make it short. When you want to port a phone over to your new system, it's like buying a new cell phone from a different provider. They get to bring that number over. In order for them to do it, Ariane has to send a message or type in the information into the computer. The computer does all the working, and if it's not the right address, like when we first put our phones in 400 years ago, it was using the courthouse address. Well, because we moved over here, it's no longer 100, it's 104 Street. Well, they were rejecting them because of that. Then we got deeper into it, and I have a list of phone numbers that we've ported, but Windstream says, no, they're still ours. Well, then when the guy went into it, oh, it's gone. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. I need to talk to a real person because we're fighting a computer, and it's stupid service because you can't, and anybody they forward you to, they say, oh, I'm sorry, you reported to me in error. You need to go here. And it's a circular idiot thing. So anyway, the last phone that needs to be ported was supposed to be done today, but they can't do it until Friday. So on Friday, Lord willing, creeks don't rise, we'll be done.
You got my stupid service.
In my comment, to be fair, in my comment, I have Windstream at home, and it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And what I told them was, if you were going to ask me from the government perspective and the government service, I wouldn't recommend it. They've got a lot of things to fix. So I'm gonna have that conversation with Marcy later on this week. But we did hire an IT network engineer, Corey Reynolds. Corey's sitting there in the corner, and
Welcome, Corey.
I'm gonna try not to scare him off today when we go out and see stuff.
Today your first day?
It is.
Well, welcome to the crew.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, got a lot of stuff for him to do, and sharp, smart man, so can't wait to get started.
Don't be afraid to put David in a headlock if you need to.
Yeah. If you don't want to call Kirk, he'll do it for free.
So will he be the contact for employees that you'll get his number out to people, like if their
Not for a
their
couple of
computer's
weeks.
not working, or, okay, so
Not
come
for
to
a
you,
couple of weeks.
tell me
'Cause
for now, and you'll just broadcast that.
Where it's any morning, we let him know. So-
Yep.
We've got a lot of onboarding to do. We gotta go to Marshalltown to talk and
Okay.
do stuff, but yeah.
Good.
Today.
Future.
No, we're here. We're
Oh, yeah.
yeah, but I've got the Explorer blocked for the whole week. Cause we're gonna go out and see stuff and get oriented, and I told him he's new, he's got new eyes. I don't care what he sees that looks wrong or needs some help, to write it down. So, and I'll hold you to that, Corey.
Try to make sure my chicken scratch is legible.
I-
There you go. Very good. Anybody else got anything?
Just last week on Tuesday, we had the economic development signing ceremony, over at the State Bank of Toledo, so we had quite a few Marshalltown, people that had come from the board there and employers and such. Not as many Tama County ones as we would have hoped, but it was still a good signing ceremony and good collaboration, with them, so said we're excited, and I know it's a different thing for people to think about, and it's Marshalltown Chamber, but just, it's gonna be great. Jake and John have been huge already, just helping with all aspects, and again, they were at the Kids Corner. I mean, just anything that they can do, they're jumping up to help. So their knowledge and expertise is gonna be amazing for us, so.
It sounds like everybody had a pretty busy week last week, running around doing what they did. Thanks everybody for what you guys are doing. I mean,
Thank you.
I'm more than happy to be a part of this board. I mean, it's working really well.
Yeah.
I like the diversified, you take what you know,
Yep.
you take what you know.
Yeah. Great.
Like I said, thanks. I mean, I put every day in the engineer's office last week.
Yeah.
I mean, I was busy too, so
We appreciate that.
it's all coming together. It's working out, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I felt like I had a light week.
I've heard a lot of good complaints out on the, roads from people in the community. So that's good. It makes me feel good.
I have to, I received some criticism just from local, on the economic development stuff, but also I had a really encouraging person reach out last week, who saw our signing ceremony from Meskwaki, who hasn't ever reached out to us before on the economic development stuff, and they said, we have some ideas, and so, while some doors may be shutting, it may be opening others.
Yes.
It's good stuff, good times, and I think that it's just needs to be communicated in a way that people understand. We have our own person that is designated to Tama County for economic development. It's not Marshalltown. It's not their, we have access to a lot of resources that they have, a lot of expertise that they have, but we have one person who is a Tama County resident that is now going to report back to us and give us measurables and outcomes, the things that we had asked for a long time ago, and we didn't. And we're getting that at a reduced rate than what we were paying before. And so it's specifically for agricultural and rural development. One of the things that I had suggested is that we change the name and that we would brand it as such, so people aren't saying the Marshalltown, Chamber of Commerce, and changing that to Tama County, Agricultural and Rural Development. It would make a lot more sense for people to, we're saying that, why, why is Marshalltown? Well, some people didn't even understand most of our major employers who are already in this county doing business are already members of the Marshalltown Chamber of Commerce. And so it was a no-brainer, I thought, that we would transition over there. They're already receiving the support from them, and it just adds to the toolbox, the things that we can do from a county perspective, so. How we make that a little bit more understanding or visible, but that would be a suggestion. I think that's it. We had a lot of people here last week, and there's been a lot of back and forth. Go to Facebook land and read up on the public health And what's going to happen there, we'll have to decide as a board, from what I understand. This is some new information. There was a statement that was put out by their administration that there is a requirement that we keep all three, administrators. So there's three administrators that are kind of full-time administrators. And then there's an assistant financial, and then there's an office administrator. We would either have to keep all three of those core, the core supervisors or administrators, or none of it, according to kind of the way that the code it was supposedly written, but I've done some research and it doesn't say that at all. It just says that we have to have one person as long as they're qualified in at least two of the areas. The other one isn't even required. And so I've put that information out there. We'll see how it comes back. But, and then reached out to, Joe Bolt, where I'm having some conversations, and she had talked to our legislator, Dean Fisher, and Dean said, Tama County Public Health is already set up as a private individual. They are already a private, entity receiving public dollars. And so it wouldn't be as much of a change as what, you know, they're only subsidized, but their budget doesn't balance. We're paying $950,000 more than what we would if it was a privatized industry. So they're already set up as a private because they have to be sanctioned or credentialed under Medicare. That's where all of these rules come from. CMS comes from Medicare. And so they're already operating as a private business under our health department.
That'd be their whole department or just the whole?
Just on that. There's parts of it that we have to have by the Iowa
For sure.
Public Health. That's what
Same
they're,
area.
yeah, that's what they're saying. We, you know, our budget is almost 2 million when it can be around 300,000. With the other requirements.
Did I understand you correctly that what you came out of that was they only need one person to do all that?
Yep, so long as they have the qualifications to do both roles.
Okay,
Because there are certain requirements by the code that you have to have qualifications and maybe some training and those kind of
right,
things.
but so that one person, if they have those qualifications, could do it all.
Could do all three roles.
Okay,
That would be
That's it.
clinical manager and executive director.
right,
See what comes out.
sure.
I got Jake with economic development working on that topic as well, because I'm a numbers person, just like some of you guys are, where I wanna see the figures, or is it even, you know,
Right.
possible that private, or for our current ones to become private, like, we obviously have good employees and it'd be nice to stay, but whether or not it's taxpayer funded or private funded is the topic, right? So yeah, I'll be working with Jake on that topic too.
Hey. Motion to adjourn.
But you didn't give public comments.
Oh, you guys have anything to say?
Of course.
Go ahead.
Oh, what? All right. Dave Jordan's running for reelection. Is anybody else on the board running for reelection?
I am as
I
well,
heard that rumor.
just us two, yeah. Since they're staggered
I
terms.
saw the three, got two more.
Hey, it's, weather's getting nice, huh?
You know,
So, construction season's starting. And, is Salt Creek 2 announced when they're gonna start construction?
No,
Have they signed their application or completely filled out their application with like model numbers and?
Like a
Size.
building permit, you're meaning? You need a building permit,
Yeah, the
like
building
a zoning
permit.
certificate, not that I've heard.
I know he said that he had to find a buyer before he could provide that information.
yeah, I believe so. I don't think that that's happened yet. I haven't heard anything on that. And I realize that you're in Iowa and you've been here a long time, but here's the thing. It is February 16th,
That we could give.
which is the middle of winter still.
Yeah.
As much as you think,
everybody, everybody's thinking about getting out and digging
Buckle
dirt.
down, because next week we're gonna probably pay for it on our weekends. Even though it's nice right now, does that mean?
I guess I'm, feeling the spring coming.
Yeah,
You and everybody else, Jim, it's Iowa. If you don't like it today, wait till tomorrow.
Don't fall for the okie. We're gonna be-
Okay, well, I'll probably bring this up again then,
yeah, more than likely, there's gonna be snow on Saturday, I'm sorry.
Oh, early Saturday?
Yeah, when we move our clocks forward, then we can have this discussion.
I thought we were moving the clocks forward this year.
Well,
Uh,
we could use a little bit of snow to help with our,
We need rain.
well, to help with our ice situation in the
Yeah.
secondary roads.
Yeah.
Our salt, we need to burn up a little
Oh,
more salt,
yeah.
so we can hold it off.
I tell you, in Alaska, they don't use salt, their winters are 2 months longer than ours. Of course, they've got studded snow tires and they drive more responsibly up there. Okay,
Good, yeah.
got any questions, Jack?
The engineer, what did he say about the Clay Hill Bridge out here is gonna get pushed back?
There's, the letting's not, the DOT pushed the letting back because they found out that our engineer was leaving, so we didn't have one filled in right at that time, so they pushed it back till June, I think, for the letting on it.
Is that,
And the way I understand it come from up above, I'm not sure, I don't know, I'm not sure. The way I understand it come from up above.
what did he say about design and talking?
This one out here is already done, designed and everything. He's talking about future projects of, like down in Iowa County, they do a lot of their own in-house design work. It doesn't, they don't farm it out, so it doesn't, it costs some money, but it's at a reduced price, basically.
Within the last 15 years, I don't know my road, but the Deer Creek bridges
Yep.
have been replaced, like Doug Stamp, Richard Stevenson. To me, they all look the same.
Yep.
The railings and that, will this look the same as all the others?
I would assume so. I haven't looked at the plans, I guess, but I mean, I can look into them a little bit and let you know. Definitely. I would say so, being everything else is the same. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'll look into it.
I think back in the day, it's almost all of it was in-house,
Yeah.
and
Calhoun Burns is the one that
Yeah.
we use mostly all the
I
time.
think that's why they had an assistant engineer. All counties had an engineer, an assistant engineer, and that assistant was more, they did a lot of that, design and stuff in-house.
Yeah, so like Nick has 2 techs that do a lot of the design work in Iowa County.
Mhm.
So, and maybe it's something down the road that we look into changing.
Yeah, at least compare the numbers,
I mean, I think we've got a good resource to do apples to apples.
Yeah.
The amount of money going out the door for those
Right,
companies has gotta be huge.
it is.
I would think you could save money doing that, get back to that in-house kind of stuff, but it's something that we look at down the
But
road.
yeah, I mean, back in the day with all the draft tables and everything, they drafted everything.
Yep. Gotta be cost efficient,
Mm-hmm.
I would think, but we'll see. It's down the road here a little bit.
Yeah, we'll let him get his feet wet.
Yeah.
Bill. Okay, close public comment.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second it.
I'll third. Second, all those in favor say aye.
Everybody's waiting.
Aaron.
We are.